gotta believe in yourself. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? You believe in yourself. Yeah. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you?
Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Manny Hall Show once again. We have as our guest tonight Tierra Kahli.
Hello guys.
In the building. It's going to be a very awesome interview. I'm excited to see her journey and to learn more about her. And you guys get a chance to learn too. And those that follow her, Facebook, Instagram, don't think that you know everything. Because you're going to find out some cool, interesting, fun things tonight as well. All right. Manny Hall Show. Be blessed. Hey, how are you?
I am doing wonderful.
Awesome. Please tell the people your name and what you do.
My name is Tierra Kahli, and I am a spoken word artist as well as a motivational speaker and an educator.
Awesome. So you know Exposure, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. She is so awesome.
Yeah, so she was the person that referred you to me.
Oh, yes. We went to Kent State together.
Oh, nice.
And had the pleasure of being on a couple of shows together. We actually got something coming up in April, so yeah.
Oh, cool.
Awesome poet.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, she said that back in her Kent days that y'all had like a nice little group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We used to... actually, we started in VOT, which was a gospel choir.
Okay.
That's when I thought I was Beyonce and I could sing.
Okay.
And then we moved on from that and really started to get into spoken word and started doing like more open mics and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so we got some history.
Okay, so enough about Exposure. Tell me about Tierra.
So, a little bit about myself. I'm a military brat, so I've kind of like been everywhere, all over the world. And I went to Kent State University, graduated with a political science degree in international relations, and then went back for a master's degree in cultural foundations, which has nothing to do with what I do.
Yeah.
I went to school to really try to get a background in the things that I want to focus on in the poetry.
Makes sense.
So I do spoken word. I have taught for the last 10 years in different settings with different nonprofit organizations, from freedom schools to Boys and Girls Club and a couple of different other nonprofit organizations. So I think at the heart for me, I'm a speaker. That's what I do, and
I
motivate people, inspire people to really get in contact with who they are and how they can change the world in their own special way through the vehicle of poetry.
I love that. So how was your experience working with these nonprofits?
Ooh, man, that's a story.
Okay.
I think overall the experience really exposed me to the grassroots the side of activism. Specifically, Children's Defense Fund Freedom Schools really put me in contact with my community on a level I didn't think it was possible. I was able to go into juvenile detention centers through that organization. So to really be in there with some of our troubled youth and to do a program that is focused on literacy and music and empowering urban youth through policy and all these different things, that was the greatest experience. It really opened up to me where I want to be.
Gotcha.
As far as like what area I want to focus on. So
gotcha.
Good experiences, bad experiences.
That makes sense.
But best experience with Freedom Schools.
Cool. That's what's up. So now let's talk about your passion for doing poetry. Now, how did that develop?
It has developed in very different ways, but I think the one most memorable or the one most important to me is I was 8 years old and I was molested as a child by my babysitter, and I needed an outlet. And I got introduced to poetry. There was a group in my school who it was like a creative writing group. So I joined that group and I started talking to that coach at that time, and she just really helped me develop my writing skills. So I started to use writing as an outlet to really deal with what I was going through at home. And the crazy part is that's the one thing that has connected me to a lot of my audience members on a very personal and intimate level. I have so many women that come up and say, hey, I see myself in that poem, or I see myself in that story.
Yeah. So
my passion, it really developed from a place of pain, and where I was able to take that pain and use it as power and to empower other women, and especially young girls. So I think that would be definitely my biggest drive and passion for it.
Now, I know that must be a really dope feeling when somebody comes up to you like, Man, that poem right there.
Oh yeah.
I can see myself in it. That changed my
Yeah.
life. You like, oh shoot, that's what's up.
Yeah, it never stopped shocking me. Like
Yeah.
I'm always floored by people coming and saying like I see myself in you, and for me it's a little bit of pressure because it says to me I can never be selfish with my story, and I have a great responsibility that when I'm sharing it to be authentic at all times, because I don't know what it's doing for someone else. And where that breakthrough may come through for them. So for me, the poetry is more than just, a couple of snaps from the audience or entertainment. For me, it's ministry. That's how I get my ministry out. So I have to be careful with it because it's a great responsibility. But it's the most incredible responsibility I have as an artist.
I love that. And one of the most important things you just said was you can't be selfish with your story because you see that it's helping to change lives. And like that's major right there. And I think a lot of times we don't really understand the significance of that because we want to hold stuff on the inside because it exposes us, it makes us a little bit embarrassed or all these different things. But it's like, in sharing your truth, somebody else is out there like, man, I can get free now too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it frees me at the same time though.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you can get attacked more on a spiritual level and even personally if you keep things to yourself. I think that's where the greatest attacks happen, when you're by yourself and you deal with it by yourself. So putting it out, and I'm careful how I put it out. It's not a thing where I'm like, it's on the billboard what happened to me in my story. It's in spaces where healing can take place properly for the audience and for myself as well. So I'm careful with that aspect as well.
Now, what challenges have you had in your journey being a poet?
We're sitting in my challenge right now. I'm 26 and I was a teacher. Like I said, I was at JFK High School and I was doing that full time. So the money was good. I graduated, master's degree. Like I'm living. And I truly believe in my heart God said it is time for you to leave. And I was like, but wait, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to really walk in this thing? And he was just like, what did I tell you to do? So I left my job in May, and I haven't been back since. And it's been rough financially following my dream and making sure that the things that I need to take care of as an adult woman are in order, because it doesn't come as fast as I thought it was. I thought I would quit and then the next day I would be on tour. Well, it didn't happen like that. Gotcha. And so I'm going through a phase of learning how to rebrand myself, learning how to reshape what it is for me to be a woman independently but still walking in purpose. So my greatest challenge is that part, is waiting for this moment where my gift can feed me. My gift can be the thing that I use as a resource and not just entertainment for people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's been worth it. I will never go back to work. This is what I'm supposed to do. So
wow, I love that.
Yeah.
So, and it's good to be able to have those individuals in your life that do believe in you and support you. Can you talk about that for a moment?
So my mom is my rock. I love that woman. She gave me some headache because of course she was like, I paid all this money for you to go to school. What are you talking about? You quitting your job. But when she finally saw me perform, she's like, wait, I think my baby got something. And so even when she fusses, she still, she catches me when I fall. When I hit my head, when I make wrong decisions, she's there. Not to say I told you so, but to pray over me. It's been many nights she's come and she's just laid hands on me and literally prayed that, God, whatever it is that you have for this gift to do, let it be done. And I think there's something so powerful about a parent to continue to pray over their children, and let you see that. She lets me see her praying over me. My best friend Sharon, always there for me.
Shout out to Sharon. Yeah,
shout out to Sharon, best event planner in the world. Jay Penelope, they support me. Man, it's so many people around me that really have come and started praying. LaShine, Hendrix, Nikki Miller, Latoya Jones. My management is amazing, incredible. Shayla Turner, she's been a friend and really has stepped in and said, I believe in you and I want to push you forward. So I mean, she's doing incredible things with me now. So I'm very blessed to not be one of the people that say nobody supported me, nobody believed in me.
Yeah.
That's not my story. My story is truly I have prayer warriors around me, so they praying for me. They're investing in me financially. They're coming to the shows. They're putting on the T-shirts. They're reposting the videos and supporting me. So it's all love.
You know what? I'm glad that you mentioned those other types of support, because all of it's not always going to come financially.
Right.
All of it's not always going to be like, hey, you can come live with me, you can come do this. But it's like sharing a post means something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, the simplest.
Yeah,
things.
like you said, rocking a shirt, coming to the show, like showing your support. Like, it's not always spending $1,000, but it's just like whatever you can do within your means, show that kind of love.
Right, absolutely. And I'm like, for instance, Deanna Webster, she's a fashion designer here in Cleveland. I didn't really have the funds to transform my fashion line the way that I wanted to. She's like, you know what? I believe in you. She has, so many talents in that, and she just took it and ran with it. And she's really been a integral part in that. I mean, her daughter was, in my photo shoot. So the simple things, and even some people just send me text messages, say, "Hey T, I see you. I see what you're doing,"
and that means a lot too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even what you're doing, like taking the platform that you have and having artists come and share their stories, and then that gets shared. Yeah. So I think I wish Cleveland was more of that, where we really, lean on each other. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We rise to the top together. For sure. So it's simple things. It's not always money.
And I'm glad you brought up the point about, like, you being here on the show and really exposing artists, because there was a time when I first started and I was really asking God for direction, like, who do you want me to interview? You know what I'm saying? What kind of people? And I heard entrepreneurs in my spirit, but I was like, but Lord, what else though? Like, because I know it's something else. And I almost felt like, oh, okay, you bad. So... all right, I'm gonna open up some other stuff to you then. So I want you to interview influencers and artists too. So I was like, okay, what kind of artists? Like the rap artists, the producers,
whoever
like
got influence,
like let's go. You know what I'm saying? So when I got exposure on there, we had such a dope time on her interview, and I was just like, yeah, Lord, like this is confirmation. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And next one is when I had this guy that's a painter, and when he was painting. And I done probably said this now for the 4th or 5th time on the interview, but shout out to Jay. But he said,
I love him.
You know Jay Capo?
Oh my God. I know his work more than I know him. But the work.
That's the homie.
Oh my God, his work is so dope.
Jay, man, this is the last time I'm talking about you in the interview, man. You ain't getting no more shout outs, bro.
Hey man, shout out to Jay. I don't think we've met personally, but his work though, like I've seen his work.
Crazy, huh?
Man, like when I make it, I want you to make me a piece.
Yeah, for sure, man. Crazy. So one of the things that he said, I said, Jay, how do you know when you're done making a piece? And he was like, I just know. It's just by instinct. I was like, that don't make sense. Like, for real, like, how do you know? Because you could add some more to it.
Right.
He was like, nah, when I know it's done, I won't touch it. It might look a mess in my mind, but I know it's done. And he showed me one that he was painting, and it just looked like a regular little drawing. He flipped it over, and it became a face. And I was like, that's crazy.
Brilliant artist.
So it's like I want you to speak to that point, that like tell me like your process as an artist, because it's like yours is a little bit different, but at the same time your creativity flows, and at some point you have to cut it off.
This is true. So it's crazy because if it's a piece that, let's say, you want to book me for a show on Tuesday, I would sit down, I would really grind out and try to get that piece out based on whatever topic it was. So it may not be the most passionate piece, but it would definitely be pretty, it'll get the job done. Yeah. But if it's a piece where I'm like, for instance, I'm getting ready to release an EP, the date is yet to be determined, but I'm working on it with very dope producer in the city, B Golden, friend of mine, brilliant artist. And so, like, for our process, it was literally sitting in the room and listening to music similar to what the feeling I want for the poem to be.
Gotcha.
So every poem I have, for as long as I can remember, has a song to go to it.
Gotcha.
And this song really paints the picture of how I wanted the feeling to come through when I perform it. I know the piece is done if I cry. If I don't cry while I write the piece, and recite it to myself, it's not going to come up. It's not going to go over well. And it's crazy because I thought I was like super crazy. Like, you know, I thought I was insane for crying, listening to myself. But what I realized was I'm not a very emotional person outward to other people.
Gotcha.
So when I write, I'm releasing whatever it is I've been holding on
Makes sense.
to, whatever stress. And so I always say the pieces that I cried on, those are the ones I perform. And really got a good reaction from audience members, really got people, you know, in a conversation about the piece. And the ones that I didn't cry on was just kind of like, oh, that was good, girl. Like, good job. So my process is really emotional and really spiritual because I always ask God, what is it that you want me to say to your people? Is it one person in the audience this piece is specifically for? And if not, what is it for me? What am I supposed to release or get through or say to you? Because I think it's a conversation between me and him on stage. I'm not even really focused on the audience, though it's for them.
Yeah.
But it's a conversation between me and him. That's where I can be my most honest with him.
I love that.
Is on stage. So I think that's when the audience sees the end product. What you're really seeing is a very public conversation between something I need to get off my chest with my father.
Yeah.
So
that's dope.
Yeah.
And see, and this is why I'm getting excited because it's like out of now, I think you're number 30 or 31, and I've interviewed now 3 poets.
Okay.
And that makes me feel good, but it's like without you guys trying to, you still spitting so much game to the entrepreneurs and they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like as you talk about like why you're doing it and when you're up on stage, it's still that conversation between you and the Lord, and just the process, the way that you created, like, you know, I gotta cry. And it's like, and as all of us are doing our different types of work in a particular industry, we got to understand that we have to create our own process. And not to say that's always going to look the same every time,
right,
but being able to hone in on your skills, that you begin to know your work and it speaks to you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think we're businesses as well, though. At least for me. I can't speak for the other poets. I've taken it to a place where I said, you know what, Kevin Hart and Chance the Rapper, two of my biggest influences, they for me have done in their art things that we haven't seen in years. Like, I mean, it's other people doing what they have done, and but on that level and on that type of platform. So I don't want to take my poetry just as an open mic situation or slam poetry, and there's no shot to those people. They're needed. There are audiences that need those sorts of poets. For me, I want to take it mainstream because the same message that I give to a kid at JFK, there's a kid in China that needs it. Open mic poetry is not gonna get me to that child in China. Like, so how do I expand my poetry and make it mainstream to where it can combat the negative messages that are mainstream, but still be something catchy, still be something that you can ride to. So I want to be able to take my words into spaces people have gone before, but people haven't gone before. For instance, we just came back from NAMM, the National Association of Music Manufacturing, me and Orlando Watson, and like maybe 30 other musicians from Cleveland. We were the only poets, but we went with the mindset that if we're gonna really do this poetry thing and take it to another level, we gotta think outside of what you see as a poet. Because when you hear poet, you automatically think, you know, it's the incense and the poets that speak real slow like this and perform, and that's not who we are or what we are. And it's no shot to those people, but it is saying, I'm dreaming about going to the Grammys. I wanna be on a red carpet. I wanna be in movies. I wanna take my words and put them in your living room. Like, I want it as home decor.
Why not?
You know, on those levels. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how can we take this thing to another level where people have never imagined it before?
I love that. And it made me kind of think about Outcasts.
Oh, yeah.
And
I love them.
Yeah, like, and I don't know what album it was. It might have been Aquemini. But the dude was like just spitting his poetry at the end of the album. But it's like the beat was so dope. He was spitting so raw. It's like, I know he ain't necessarily rapping right now.
Right, but
I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling you right
Kanye
now.
had a couple poets doing live lot of people don't know that the poems in between the songs on Lemonade, Beyonce got that from a poet that's from London. Like, those weren't her words. That's a poet that did that.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think about it, words are everywhere. They're on our T-shirts. They're on our TV. They're in our homes. That words are everywhere. So how can I take the messages that I believe have been given to me and as power, how can I take that and give it to you in the different platforms and different areas of your life?
Exactly.
So
I love that because there's so much more creativity that can be done with the way that we do things. It's like if you stick into this little box, you'll always stay right there.
Absolutely.
And it's like for me, even when I started this show, like it's 8 weeks in, 31 episodes, like grinding, you know what I'm saying?
Killing it. I'm so happy for you.
And I appreciate it. And it's like, but I didn't wait. You know what I'm saying? I didn't wait till I had a bunch of fancy camera equipment. Like for those that's sitting here watching and listening now, this is all on my phone. Like when I get home, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to chop it up, make it look nice, and post it. Like,
you just got to do it,
You just got to do it, Tierra. That's it.
Have you seen the video with Steve Harvey? It was on the episode of Family Feud. They took a commercial break, but he started talking to the audience about jumping and taking.
Yeah. I've been seeing that. Yeah.
Man, I watched it probably literally 20
We're talking
times.
about imagination and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was like, so what are you waiting for to jump? And me and my mother, we used to kind of go back and forth on this. She was like, I don't understand why you just won't do a job. And, 9 to 5 benefits, health, is it's there. Like, you don't have to try to be artist and guess where it's going to come from and these things. I said, but you could be sitting at that desk, have given the last 10 years 40 hours a week, and they hand you a pink slip, and that's their last day. I don't want my destiny or my children's future to be in the palm of the hands of a corporation. That's just that's not where I am. And I don't believe God would have given me the ability to speak and to do it so passionately and to really connect with people for me to be at a cubicle. I just don't believe he operates like that.
I feel it.
And I don't know if you know that feeling where you come alive when you're doing what you're passionate about. Nothing else gives me that joy.
Yeah.
Like, and I would do it for free.
Yeah.
That's how I know I'm supposed to be doing it. A young lady, the last thing, a young lady, she DM'd me 2 days ago. She's 17 years old. She left a video and she said, "This is my story. I love what you're doing. I need help to do it too." And she's only 17 and she's rapping to this beat, but she's talking about, all the things that she's been through. And she said she did it because I posted a video. For me, that is what this is all about at the end of the day. Like, our schools don't have hope. Our babies are these messages that they hear from everything else that they listen to and see. Who combating that? Like, who is telling them it's a different way? Who is pouring back into them? And for me, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that. I'm probably not going to quote it right, but Howard Thurman had a famous quote, and he said something to the degree of, like, when you find out what makes you come alive, do more of that, and the world needs more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, that's how I feel like about life. It's like the things that I want to do that I feel like can be very successful financially, but they don't make me come alive. I feel like this irritating part of my spirit, like, just stop. Like, you might have thousands and thousands of dollars being made off of this particular thing, but it's just like being in purpose, on purpose, like, is no greater feeling in the world. Like, greater. People be thinking I'm crazy. My homeboys be like, "Yeah, man, I saw your videos, man, but you can tweak this, you can do that." It's like, I appreciate it, bro.
Right.
I can make some improvements. It's like, man, you ain't even getting paid for that, but like, it's stupid. Like, why you out here doing that? And it's like, this make me feel good. You know what I'm saying?
You're a lot less stress, right? For me, if you do what he told you to do, the money gonna come.
Yeah.
Like, I am so grateful that I quit in May. Now, granted, that was so hard. Like, going from being able to take care of myself to calling my mom and being like, "Mom, I gotta come back home." Yeah. And I'm 26. I've been on my own since I was an undergrad in college. So I've been doing good. Great credit, all these things. Literally overnight, that shifted for me. Like, it went from I didn't have to call her for nothing, so I had to call her for everything. And a lot of people won't talk about that piece of the struggle.
Yeah.
Like, And I don't want to paint a picture because I know I'm going to Oprah's Couch. Like, I know I'm going to be in her book club. I know these things. I know what God has put in my vision, what he's dropped in me. Like, I know I'm going to be there. I don't want to get there and try to make it seem like, just work hard and you'll get there. No, pumpkin. There are going to be days you are on your face and you are crying out to God like, I'm going back to work. This is dumb. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be broke no more. I don't want to try to figure out where food is coming from or not be able to put gas in my car. That is a very crippling feeling. But it humbled me. And what it made me realize was I had to go through these things because there's going to be somebody that walks up to me with the same story and say, what do I do? I'm ready to dream. I'm ready to jump out on faith, but I have no idea how to do it. And I can say, all right, don't go this way. Do this. This is the plan. Call this person. Before you quit your job, put a plan in place so you don't quit and there's nothing to fall out. So
I love that.
I don't care what anybody tells me at this point. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to give it everything. So for me now, it has to work. And I feel like you're kind of in the same position. Like, it has to work.
It has to.
It has no choice but to be successful at this point.
And it's like when you said something that really kind of like jumped out at me when you said for that person that comes to you and say, I'm ready to dream. But it's like the reality is for all of us that are dreamers, at some point you're going to wake up.
Yeah.
And what do you do during that time when you have woken up before you can get back to sleep and start dreaming again? That's the tough part. Like, people don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
I have wanted to quit every other day since May. I sit in that car outside in that driveway so many nights and I mean bawl before I come in the house. Because it's so hard. And it is times I said something in a poem to the extent of I can't even quote my own self, but I said, what do you do when you have to give birth to something somebody doesn't believe you're pregnant with? Like, it is the hardest thing trying to
say that again.
Look, and I won't forget it.
That's dope. I mean, so it's like you're trying to give birth to something.
You're trying to give birth to something that nobody believes you're pregnant with. Sometimes you don't even believe you're pregnant with it. It doesn't make sense because logically it doesn't make sense to have all of the degrees that I have and all of the logic and sense and book smarts and not have a job. My own school wouldn't hire me. I got 2 degrees from the same school. I applied to them 10 different ways, 10 different times, and they still said no. That doesn't make sense. So how do you do that and then say, no, you're supposed to be a speaker. You're supposed to go impart hope into people, and that's going to pay you. That doesn't make sense. And so there are days where I'm literally sitting, like I said, in my car in the driveway, like, God, I give up. I quit. Like, I don't want this no more. But then he drops these little pieces of sunshine and says stuff like, exposure, tagging me in your show. I'm still relevant to people. Somebody still needs me. Or a young girl DMing me. How do I do what you're doing? So I feel like he drops these little, and this is why it's so important to be spiritually connected to him, because in those moments, I think those are the times he's saying, okay, I hear you. I'm going to show you why I need you to keep going. Because he never left. In any of those hard times, he never, ever left. I think I always visualize it as, he puts me on his chest. Go ahead, cry, baby. I know. So anyway, now that you done with that, such and such needs you over here, and he gives me the strength to really go back in that. So being connected with him, having people around you who pray for you, because again, this ain't me by myself. This is nights we're sharing on the phone with me till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't care what happens, you can cry, but tomorrow we got to get up and try again. It's going to breakfast with Deanna and Tarshay at 8 o'clock in the morning, and stay until 2, and we impart knowledge into each other. It's being in the studio with B Golden, and he's doing it from a place of, I believe that one day we are going to accept a Grammy. Like, when somebody say that to you, how can you quit? So it's important to be connected to people who believe in you like that, and who know God, and you know him for yourself. But no, it's not easy. It's not easy. I done had suicidal thoughts over this thing. You know, me and LaToya Jones with Alive on Purpose, we have had to sit down, and she really had to walk me through some stuff sometimes. And she didn't know she was doing it, but she was literally keeping me from saying, I give up. Because when you high, everything is good, and literally overnight that all changes. Like, I went, if I could be transparent, I went from excellent credit to ain't nobody giving me nothing. Ain't nobody giving me no credit card. Ain't nobody about to give me nothing. I got to rebuild now.
Yeah.
But I believe in my heart when I hear stories like Steve Harvey. You slept in your car for 3 years. You know, DJ Khaled got his car repossessed, and now he's DJ Khaled. Like, so when I hear those stories, I know God, and I have this circle that I have. I can't quit.
Yep. And it really gets to the point here that even if you wanted to quit, you wouldn't be able to.
It would chase me down.
Yeah.
It would chase me down.
I mean, because I look at that scripture, and I hold it so tightly that my word can't return void, but it must accomplish what it set out to do.
Man, that thing right there that saved my life.
Yeah.
That scripture that saved my life a couple of times.
And I feel like, God, you put this word on me. You said, like, Tia, I promise you, man, like, when I first started really thinking about this show, I wanted fancy couches, people to come sit at the couch and be like, so, tell me why you're here. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, where my couch at, Lord? Dad, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't bring that couch, but he said, you going to get the iPhone 10.
And it's going to have the best come on.
And I said, okay, so what else is like, I like, where my cameraman at though? Where he at? Where the producer at?
Right there.
He said, I'm going to do everything with you.
Yeah.
I mean, from casting to directing to scheduling, everything I do all by myself.
Yeah.
And it get challenging, but it's like, I know that he's with me, and he said that I'm going to have something. And it can't return void, but it must accomplish what it set out to do.
Yeah, that scripture, to me, is one of, I guess you can't say one of the most powerful, because it's like everything.
Yeah.
But no,
I feel it.
For me, it resonates with me
yeah.
so dope. And I think, just to your point, I done had to do the casting and directing. I think the beautiful thing of that is, now when you get the team, you know everybody role front and back.
Yeah.
So when you write up the contracts for what your role is,
right.
You can't tell me what you can't do, because I did it.
right.
And now I know what to see when it's wrong. And I felt the same way about myself before Shayla took me on. Like, I was doing it all, the scheduling, the contract, didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had to do so much research to make sure I wasn't getting played. I got played, and sometimes I didn't, and whatever. But now, one, I appreciate her more, so it's a deeper relationship there. And then I understand things, so can't nobody tell me about my business. You can't tell me about how a contract go, or a split sheet in the studio. Like, I know these things because I had people telling me about it, and I had to do the research myself. So I think it's a beautiful thing when you got to play all roles of your business, because now you know. Now everybody's job description real clear.
For sure.
And it's one of those things, your team won't look at you as you telling them to do something that you won't ever do. Hey, everything you're doing, I did it. Like, now we're going to do it together as a team to push this business forward. So it's a beautiful space to be in.
For sure.
When you starting out. And like, I'm just so proud, like, of you. Like, in this, you got your phone and you moving. I've seen a lot of the interviews. I'm like, man, check Manny out. I can't wait to turn the TV on and Manny got his couch.
For sure, man.
And sitting with everybody. But I think that's too, you bring something unique to this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna come to you and do the interview versus, and so that just brings something different to the market. So man, shout outs to you.
I appreciate that, and I really love the fact that it's like it focuses on the entrepreneur, the creative, the influencer, and it's like they don't see me, they see you. Like, I want you to be doing the majority of the talking, them looking at your face, hearing you, feeling you, because it's like the reality is your story is going to change somebody's life.
That's the plan.
And here's the greatest thing the guy showed me about the Manny Hart show. He was like, bruh, don't you realize that you making a video that's about to be posted on YouTube? I said, yeah, I know, Lord. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, that's cute. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, but what you don't realize is that 10 years from now, somebody can watch one of these videos and their life be changed.
Yeah. So you got a legacy it has an infinity date on there. Like, it ain't
right. And it's like, in a selfish and unselfish way, I feel like, God, you allow me to have some investments in all of these individuals that's on the show.
Seriously, when you said let's do the interview for me, I was like, because I had been following you for a while, and your wife, just the posts that you guys make, really interesting conversations.
I appreciate that.
I love what y'all do for the community online.
Yeah.
Because it forces us to talk about some very uncomfortable things, some comfortable things, some social things. So it's giving us conversation around substance, because it's so much that's on there that is not.
Yeah, for sure.
that doesn't have any substance. So just, that piece. So once you started doing the show, I was like, yeah, man, I gotta sit down and talk to them. Like, it's good conversation just on the post. So I know the interview gonna be crazy.
Oh, for real.
And dope. Do that. So I love to see people starting off and then being able to kind of just watch a journey where you go. I love to celebrate people. Like, sure. I think that's something we don't do enough. Like, I get crazy excited when people are doing what they love and they light up. And it's kind of like I'm experiencing it with you. So like I'm on fire for you.
For sure, yeah.
And then just your marriage, like how it is and how I see it. I was like, man, this is good. Like, black love, they doing their thing. He got the show going. She working and moving. Yeah. It's really inspiring to me as a younger person, because we don't really have, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nobody around our age that's really walking and living out this very beautiful love. Not perfect in any respect, but like for y'all to love God, voice that, do what you're passionate about, and be together. That's inspiring for me, because Betty, the dating world, man.
No, I can only imagine.
Oh, that's another conversation.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment.
Oh my God.
Because poets got a date too, right?
We do.
Somebody should. Where the poems at? Somebody write a poem called "Poets Got a Date Too."
I'm gonna write it tonight. I'm gonna write it because I feel inspired. I feel like it was put on me to do, so I'm gonna do it. So about this dating world, what's the question, man? Oh God.
So like, why is it? No, you know what? Instead of just tackling like you as a single woman, like let's really talk about you guys as poets in dating. Like, is it harder for you guys to find somebody, because it's like you got this creative mind, so you can't just have some strange weirdo dude that got a regular job like, yeah, babe, pick you up Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be something, like he got to be doing something dope and interesting too. Maybe not the same thing, but something pretty cool.
Well, I can't speak for all the poets, because I've talked to a lot of poets who actually do want somebody regular.
Gotcha.
They don't want an artist. They don't want somebody in the same field as them, because it's too deep. Like, it's always deep. It's always intense and passionate, and like everybody walking with shoes off, and everybody natural. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just it's so intense. For me, I want an artist, because I think there's something very intimate and personal about two artists coming together, and because I think artists are weirdos in our minds. Like, we have to be, and we're sensitive to the world and what's going on. We take it, we translate it to art. I want to be with an artist for that very reason, for them to understand that. And then with me talking about the way I want to take my career, mainstream it, I would need someone who would understand, like, hey, I might be going for 2 months on a tour or something, and it not be a problem, because maybe you're doing your art. But I feel like God is going to give me a janitor. And he's going to be some basic dude, and that's just going to be what it is. I hope not, but the dating world for poets, I don't know. And then
do y'all be trying to date each other like, hey, I do poetry?
The poetry community in Cleveland right now is so broken up and all over the place. Like, you got slam poets who don't talk to the regular poets.
Y'all still go to the B-side?
Not anymore.
No,
well, at least for me. It's a new wave
of B-siders.
Of B-siders. Like, it ain't the one truth and the cute nice and the old song child vibe no more. And I was too young to even be in there. I was 16 sneaking into the B-side. My bad, y'all. But I remember when it was shoulder to shoulder, and it was like, it had like this Norican cafe feel. Like, B-side used to be our Apollo. If you could get on that stage and get that place to be quiet and listen to what you was saying and what you were doing, you was that poet. So I remember going in there, and I don't remember people dating, but again, I was only 16, so I don't know what was going on. Now, I couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't tell you what's going on as far as the dating poet thing go. It's just. But
where are you personally at here? Like, what do you desire? If Are you dating anybody now? Do you see somebody in the future that you?
So I'm not dating now. No.
Okay.
In the future, I absolutely want to be married. I used to say I wanted kids. The world is crazy. And did you see how much diapers cost? Oh my God.
Hey, I know I got a 3-month-old, homie.
Ooh, yes. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, it is expensive to have kids. But maybe one day, no more than 2. Jesus.
I mean, you get that bread up. You making
Yeah,
200,000 a month. You can buy some diapers.
You are receiving a month. Thank you, Lord.
I stopped saying a year. I start saying a month.
Because I didn't believe that was possible. When I started researching some stuff, it's people making that a month.
Bread, man.
That's crazy. But yes, I want to be married one day. As far as the relationship right now, my career is my relationship. I've been in so many relationships where I gave so much to the other person and really poured into them that it set me back. So I was like, I want a me for me. Yeah. Like, I want to see what happened if what I've given to relationships, if I just gave that to myself for a season, how far could Tierra Kahli get? How far could I really, grow in God, grow in myself, grow in my business? So right now I'm chilling. There is someone that I love dearly. We were in a relationship. But it was just best for us to really start focusing on our careers and go our separate ways. We're still really good friends, but love that man to pieces. So, we'll see what God say about it in the future. But right now, it's all career.
Right.
All career.
Now, since we know that this is going to help somebody else know, now tell me why you felt at that time that it was time to just kind of back up a little bit.
When your relationship stops reflecting, what's healthy for both of you in a mental, spiritual, and emotional space, you have to call it quits, even if you love that person. And because like I said, I think we still love each other very much so, but we weren't growing anymore, and we started growing apart. And you have to be careful who you let in your relationship, and who you let speak into it and be a part of it, because that plays a factor as well. I would say to anybody listening, if I could impart advice on that end, when it comes time for you to really grow as an individual person, or if God is trying to get your attention because you've given so much to that person and lost yourself, I think that's when it's time to call it quits. I got so wrapped up in him. I got so wrapped up in relationship. I wasn't performing as much. I wasn't pouring and investing into the business side of who I am as an artist. And it started to become more about what his aspirations and dreams were. And I think it's hard because as a woman, and no shot to men, but I think as women, because we're nurturers, we latch on and we pour and we give and we shape and try to build up and slowly but surely start to forget about ourselves. Yeah, I've seen that happen so many times, and I've done it. And so it was just time for me to stop doing that. And it wasn't that he wasn't a good man. He was a great partner. He spoken to me. He supported me, but I was still losing me, and Gotcha. It was time to find Tierra again.
I love that. So, what do you think? Where would you be? What do you think right now, if you hadn't made that decision?
We wouldn't be doing this interview because I wouldn't be on the radar for it. It wasn't until I made the decision to do me that my name is starting to become more of a household name, if you will.
Gotcha.
From January 1st to right now, I kid you not, every day I either have a DM, a text message, or a phone call saying, "Hey T, what you doing on this day? Can you come and do this?" Now I direct everybody to my manager. So like the gig's been coming, so I feel like God was truly like, if you do what I ask, if you really focus on me, that whole scripture, all things will be added to you. Yeah, it's real. Like I'm experiencing it right now, and I mean we're still friends, and still cool, still call each other and all that kind of stuff. But it's just time to really. Gotcha. It's time to focus on me. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be this focused, this hungry for my career. I've never been this hungry in my life for what I'm doing.
I love it. Now, can you speak to those entrepreneurs, let's say females in this case, and even males, they're in a relationship, but they're being distracted right now?
If you're being distracted right now, you got to ask yourself a question. It's a very simple question. Which one do you want more?
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you want more, that's what you gotta. That's what you gotta give your all to. If you want your relationship more, which I don't think is anything wrong with saying right now.
Yeah.
I want to build my relationship.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's cool.
Do it. But understand that nothing can have, or there are not multiple things at one time that can have all of you. You cannot give 100% to more than one thing at a time. You just can't. Something is always going to get less of you. So if you choose your relationship, understand that your business is not going to get 100% of you. And you have to be in a space to say, I'm okay with that. And your partner should also be a person who recognizes that and makes a decision to you to say, no, this is more important, and we're going to focus on your business together.
Gotcha.
Or maybe we do need to have some space. I think people use Beyonce and Jay-Z way too much as an example that they have a very false perception of.
Right.
If you follow their history, she was already popping.
Right,
Like she
right.
was at a point where she didn't need recognition from him, and so was he. So
Right.
when you had these empires separately, then they came together and built an even greater empire. So I think any entrepreneur who's currently in a relationship right now, distracted, again, ask yourself, which one do you want more? Do you want this business to be in a place where it can sustain and be successful and flourish? Or do you want your relationship at a place that it can sustain, flourish, and do those things? Once you make that decision, ask your partner what role do they play in that. Because I think another thing that happens real quick is if I make the decision to focus on my business, somehow that means I don't want my partner, or I don't love my partner, or whatever. That's not the case. I think, and then too, I think the partner gets frustrated because it's like, well, what is my role in this? Like, what does this mean for me now? If you focus on your business, I don't see myself in your space the same way. How do I have access to you now? How do I still get you now if your business is going to take the
Now,
place
Tierra,
of...
you about to make me tag team preach with you.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's what people get frustrated about. It's not, and it's not that they don't love you or support you. It's that they're frustrated because they don't understand. Well, what does that mean for me now if you're going to take this on full face?
Yeah.
So it's communication is going to be key for that space.
It is.
Are you going to help me build this thing, or do we need to be in a space where, babe, I can't do it right now. I gotta be here. And I think for me, if I was in a relationship now and we were both entrepreneurs and he came to me and said, I'm distracted, it's tricky because for me, you're calling me the distraction. So now we got a fence in the relationship. And that's not what he was saying.
Yeah.
He's just saying, and you know what I mean? So I think communication is going to be the most important key. And please feel free to tag team preach, because I told you you're supposed to be getting me together.
No, but you know, you brought up a point as far as I don't see myself in your future.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
It is.
Because it's like the business is one thing, and maybe you might not necessarily see your role in the business, but if you don't see yourself in my future, because I'm grinding, I'm running, you like, man, I can't keep up, I don't even see where I fit in, then that's an issue.
Yeah. It could be very disheartening. Like, for conversations to say, like, if you're having a future conversation, you're saying stuff like, yeah, I want this house, I want to move here, I want to do these things, and you never include your partner in that conversation, that can start to be a little like, wait a minute, do you see me with you? And if you do, why does your language or your actions not reflect that? It's kind of like the Jetson, I like to call it the Jetson effect.
Okay.
I used to watch the Jetsons when I was little, and I didn't see black people. And, you know, that was like a real futuristic show. So I used to ask my mom, like, wait, black people not going to be in the future? Because the way they stand, the car is going to be fighting. So if you're not having the conversation, or your relationship doesn't reflect a space where you're building for the both of you, I don't feel like I'm a part of you. So that's where some drift and some friction can begin to happen. So I think for entrepreneurs, and this is not me saying build your business, be very, very successful, then go find somebody, because there are a lot of people that build from the ground up, and they're successful together and they blow up together and all of that. But I think there's something precious about being single, working on your business and working on you as a single person, where I don't have the responsibility of worrying about dating or checking in all of the time, or are your needs being met, and those things. I'm here with my business, and then when I'm good here, now I can kind of open myself to inviting you into that space and to being mentally stable to be in that space. 'Cause I know for me, because my finances are not where they want to be, I'm not happy with that. So I don't want that to pour over into how we interact with each other.
Yep.
That's not fair to you, because I'm unhappy in a space in my life that has nothing to do with you. So I think it's really important to be a whole individual, really have these important pockets taken care of before you try to invite somebody else into your space like that.
That's good stuff. Love it. All right, now what motivates you?
Whoa, it's so much that motivates me. I'm trying to, let's see. What is my main motivator? I would say I wish I had my father. So the lack of him is a huge motivator.
Okay.
Because for so long I was blaming his absence, or using his absence as a crutch. Like, oh, I didn't have my dad, so I date crazy, or I had these relationship issues, or these self-identity issues, and these things. Now that I'm in a space where I can stop blaming him or using his absence as a crutch, it motivates me to say, I have this story that, it's not the white picket fence in the suburbia, and my parents grew up in the house together, and we were all just one big happy story. It's not that. So I use that to push and motivate me for it, and to connect with the women who have the same issues. I think what broke my heart a lot, and this, I really do like her, this Cardi B young lady. She's cool, it's great. But one thing that broke my heart was when I saw that she got the same award that Lauryn Hill got years ago, right? Like, in the same boat. It's not Cardi B I have the issue with. It's the messages that I have the issue with. So at one point we crown, what Lauryn Hill was talking about as great music and as positive message and all of these things, and now we crown Cardi B for the same award. It's not her. That's the issue. It's not her entertainment. That's the issue. It's that the message is, if you strip, if you do these things, if you kind of live that same sort of life, you can become this star.
Yeah.
Who's combating that? Who's telling young women that you don't have to do that to be successful? So my motivation comes from, again, an absent father, the girls who have the same issues, but what comes after all of that? Like, what happens now that you've gone through this trauma and these stories? Because women go so many different ways with that. It's so many different things that happen just from not having a father in the household. So I want to be able to say, hey, I didn't either, and this is the route that I chose. I made many mistakes. God, countless mistakes. But now, let's do this thing together. Let's figure out how we can reshape what the identity piece is. Let's figure out how we can get in contact with what your purpose is and connect you to destiny. Because, yes, you could be a Cardi B, or you could be a Lauryn Hill, or you could be something in the middle, or you could just be you. Like, so what's the message? And how do I get that out to people? That's connecting with women, especially young women, and working on that identity piece is huge for me.
Yeah.
Huge for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about what motivates you. What in your life do you feel that you could walk away from? And mind you, I've never asked this question before.
What could I walk away from? Oh,
And you straight on the spot on the Manny Hart show.
What can I walk away from? I can walk away from excuses. I am full of them. Like, I can't do it now because, or, I can't get over this because, or I can't forgive this person because and sometimes you ask me that because I'm sitting here like, wait, that's what I need. That's the first thing that came to mind. So I'm going to take it as that's what I need to work on. Walking away from excuses as to why I can't something. So Shayla, actually, we were having a conversation today, and she said she reversed her I can't statements to I can. So she's like, I used to say I can't cut my hair, so she cut her hair. And so that's what I want. I want to take on that. Like, what am I saying I can't do? And then go and do it. Yeah. I said I could not get over what my dad did. well, now I'm gonna work on doing that. And I wanted to do that previous to this, but really now that question really brings that out. I said, I don't know if it's able, or I can't go to the Grammy. There's no way that they're gonna let a poet, take the Grammys home. Oh, well, we're gonna take a Grammy home. It's like, let's do it. So reversing those I can't statements, definitely. And you slick. You threw that one in there. It's just so it was nice and smooth. Like,
you know what? It's like I had this. And you know what? And honestly, Tier, people ask me before the show a lot of times, all right, can you send me over some of the questions? And I'm like, God, it ain't no questions. Like, do you want me to send them over something? Because I ain't got nothing. And he was like, no.
You got to get for this thing. It's been flowing. I
right.
Like
So there's no sending questions. It's like, and I'm telling my secrets, but it's like, as you talk, the Lord is revealing the next question every time. Okay. And like, sometimes it's like, don't ask a question, but just talk. Yeah. Just say something. And it's like I flow with him. But, with everything that we do, man, we got to just keep grinding, keep seeing ourselves and being aware of different things that we have to work on. But in terms of the questions and stuff like that, it's just like, I felt like that was appropriate right at that time. I don't know why, but I'm glad I asked, and it made me think about myself like, all right, bruh, what about you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when you say the word grind, it's so funny because I keep hearing Jeff Johnson in my ear. I went to, what's his name? Reed. What's his first name?
Larice.
Yes. Yep, he had absolutely a great guy.
Yep.
Had the Black Expo, the Business Expo. Yeah. And Jeff Johnson was talking about the difference between working smart and grinding. He was like, what happens when two things grind together? And he said eventually they wipe each other out. He's like, I don't want you to wipe out. I want you to work smart to win the point one day you sleep making money.
I love it.
And that made so much sense to me because I kept saying, hey, I'm grinding, no days off. I'm going hard, I'm going in. Yep, and you're going to go right to tire yourself out and not have anything to show for it.
That's good.
So he was like, there's nothing wrong with resting. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with, but I want you to work smart so that when you sleep, you're making money.
I love that.
Yeah, so that part, and it makes sense why we say the grind. It's cultural. It's something we've been saying, but to change the mindset. So, and just to go back to the question really quickly, what am I going to walk away from? Bad thinking. Like, a mindset of thinking, if you think it absolutely is going to happen. And that has been both bad and good for me. And I've outthought I've thought myself out of so many good situations because I was so fearful of things. So really just walking away from excuses and fear and a mentality that say I can't win because I was letting money dictate to me how I was going to be successful. Gotcha. That doesn't make sense because if that's the case, we ain't, based on right now, we ain't going nowhere. And that can't be the case. Yeah. So just, walking away from that stuff, man, and really walking in purpose and walking in what he told me to do and being confident in what he told me to do. So. Okay. Now, another crazy thing right now. Uh-huh. So I want you to name 20 people in the city that have either inspired you or that you just really love so much. Oh, my God. Okay, so if I miss somebody, don't hold it to me. Like, it's a lot of y'all. And y'all know I'm bad with names. But let's do it. I'm going to leave my mom, my sister out. Okay. Because y'all do that every day. So y'all don't count. Okay. So Shayla Turner, of course. Orlando Watson. Whew. Lord have mercy. Sharon Edmond, bestie. Okay. Jesus. B. Golden, Justin Fraley, Carlin Warren, B. Hosley. I love you, B. Willie Beanham, another bestie, Dylan Settlers, Jesus, Brian Gatson. Okay. Sam, you know who you are, Sam. Let me see. What number am I on? This is 11. We on 11, yeah. LaToya Jones. Hey, Lou. Philly Whedon. That man is so dope. Thank you so much for everything. Man, my trainers, James Abrams and Blue, go train. I love them. They get me together. That's 15. I got 5 more. Who am I forgetting? You ever try to like go through a Rolodex in your head? Like, okay, I'm like trying to go through my recent call list in my mind. Like, what are y'all doing? Man, what if it was only 15? Because I feel like whoever you think of the most, or right away, that's who really. LaShawn Reed Kendricks. Did I say it right? Kendricks Reed?
Yeah.
You know I'm talking about you, love. Lady Donella, she called me every month with a new gig. Thank you so much. And always praying for me. Darius Daniels. I've never met him in person, but when I tell you I listen to him every single day, man, been important in my life for the last 2 years. Don't even know me. Love Darius Daniels from Change Church in New Jersey. Let me see. You said in the city though. Oops.
It's okay.
I'm trying to think. How many more I got? 2?
2 more.
2 more. I can do it. 2 more. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody so important. I'm gonna feel so bad. Like I'm gonna call you like, Manny, can you like do a voice recording and add this real quick? Cause they gonna kill me if I didn't add them to this list, man. It's gonna be bad for me. They ain't gonna call me no more. Ed Blunt. He's from Cleveland. He's not here right now, but the crazy part is this man, he's my mentor and we've never met in person. He texts me at least 2 or 3 times a week, giving me advice, asking what's going on with me, pouring into me. I love that man. It's crazy how we met, but didn't meet. But anyway, so one more person inspires me. Whew, I feel like I'm missing somebody so dope. Manny, this is your fault. Y'all, this Manny's fault, because I ain't know this was cut. This one you supposed to send ahead of time so I could have my list. I'm going to have my list together. Oh, man.
It's fun because it's on the spot.
Jake Streeter. Duh. We've been doing Freedom Schools for years together. That's my boy. We don't talk often, but what we do is all love all the time. And there's so many more of y'all, but this top 20 I could think of. Off the top of my head.
No problem.
No, and look, as soon as I said that, I forgot 2 other people.
Okay,
so it's gonna be 22.
It.
It's gonna be 22 for me.
You good.
Deanna Webster, Tarsha Hamilton. I did not forget y'all. I just had breakfast with you guys yesterday. I didn't forget you guys. But it's kind of like the mom and sister category. Like, duh, y'all
no
count.
problem.
And James Black, dope bass player, always in my corner, always supporting me. I love them so much.
I love it. Okay, so as we get out of here, any final words?
Remember that you have everything you need already. There's nothing else that you need to be who he's called you to be. LeBron James was a champion at 3 years old. He was already a champion then. He was a champion at 10. He was a champion the day he got his ring. The thing is, from when he was 3 to the day he got the ring, all that time in between was preparation. So how are you preparing to walk into, to become exactly what you already are? Do not let anything or anybody stop you from that. If you're breathing, you still have purpose. Forgive yourself. I think that's one of the most powerful tools that we overlook, is forgiving your own self, because God already has. So give yourself that permission to be as great as you already are, to forgive yourself, and to live with no apology. So I want you to absolutely walk in your purpose, absolutely live in an unapologetic place. Do not give excuses for what your purpose is. Just do it, because somebody is waiting for you to wake up. Somebody's waiting for you to walk into the space that you're supposed to be in. God has already prepared the room. Just walk into it, own it, live it out. Somebody's waiting for you, and it's not about you. You can't be selfish with your purpose. It's not about you. It's about who needs to see you in your element, see you doing you, so that they can do them, and that's how you change the world. You change the world by showing others how they can. It's period. And I appreciate the Manny Show. You're so awesome, and I'm wishing the biggest, bestest stages, from here to, man, every crook and cranny in the world watching the Manny Show. Like, I can't wait to see what God is going to do with the show, doing your life, doing your family's life, man. Thank you so much for coming into my space, into my home, and giving me a platform to share who I am with the world, man. It's people like you that make sure we stay relevant, so we can't do this without you. So the best of God to you, man. The best of God to you.
I appreciate it. So how can I get in contact with you?
So you guys can follow me on Instagram, T Kahli, TKAHLI. Facebook is Tierra Kahli. I have a website. Oh man, got a website. So it's www.tkahliOutloud.com. You can book me there, see pictures, video. The music will be dropped on that website. It's everything Tierra Kahli. Twitter, I don't even know what Twitter is. I don't be on Twitter. But Tierra_Kahli. So everything is Tierra Kahli. You find me everywhere, Tierra Kahli. You can call me if you want to book, but that's it. It's all in the bio.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Tierra.
Thank you. I had such a great time. It was so awesome.
I did too. All right, y'all. We out, Manny Hall Show. Be blessed.